You're listening to Coach Talk with your host, Coach Aisha and friends, who offers personal development coaching and advice to get you from where you are in your life, business, and career to where you want to be. Here is your host, Coach Aisha.
All right, peace and greetings to all. Welcome to Coach Talk. I'm your host, Coach Aisha. If this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. You can find all of today's show notes at www.coachtalkshow.com. Be sure to add us on social media as well. All social media links can be found in the show notes. So let's get started. Today's guest is Sade Y. Adu. Sade is a personal brand strategist, life coach, and founder of Savvy Solutions Consulting LLC. She offers a range of professional development services through her brand name in order to help clients reach their maximum potential in their respective businesses without common issues, difficulties, and hindrances getting in the way. She's trained specifically to help individuals strategize and establish a brand name with years of experience as a motivational speaker and life coach. Let's welcome Sade Y. Adu. All right, welcome, Coach Sade. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent.
Great.
How are
So
you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for joining us here today, and I'm excited to have you. You have a very important topic that I think a lot of our listeners need help with. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to speak to us about today.
Today we're going to talk about really building your brand through using social media. Yay!
Yay! Yes, thank you. Okay. All right. So
Awesome.
yes. So tell me, why is social media, using social media to build a business brand, important for business owners?
Social media is extremely important. It's you need more than your website in this global economy if you're trying to reach people from all around the world and even in your local area. When people are finding information, they're not just using Google, they're looking at social media to find a consistent brand and a consistent visual or image of someone they're looking out. So now you meet someone, not only are they going to say they're going to maybe Google you, they're also going to look for your social media presence to also see if that aligns with what's on your website. So they're looking for alignment, they're looking for that connection and looking to know more about you, especially if they want to purchase your services or your products, they want to know more about you. So people are actually doing social media searches to find out more about people.
Okay, so let me ask, what are the top social, because there's a lot, right? There's a lot of social media websites, networking sites going on out here. We have Facebook and we have LinkedIn and we have Twitter. What are the best social media websites to use for building your brand?
I will say it depends. It depends on what your brand is. Now, number one social media network is definitely Facebook with over 1 billion users. So you definitely need to have a Facebook presence. And especially for business owners, it's extremely important to have that Facebook fan page. However, Facebook has changed their algorithm. So your organic reach, that means that less people will see your post on your fan page. And Facebook really doesn't like when you post on your personal page, business information. They prefer you to do it on your fan page and actually pay money. If you pay, you have a great reach, it works out well. But if you're starting out, it's really difficult on Facebook right now. So I really encourage my clients to have a multi-platform strategy. But it really depends on where you are. So Facebook, I will say, is number one. It's great for that. If you are someone who is an artist or you are a great speaker, YouTube may also be a great platform. The number one search engine is Google. The number two search engine is YouTube. So you definitely want to have those videos out there. And videos are becoming very instrumental even on Facebook. Facebook loves sharing video, and they're in direct competition with YouTube. So I always tell people to upload your videos to YouTube and upload your videos to Facebook directly because Facebook also likes them. If you have more of a visual brand and you have a product-based brand, Instagram may be your friend, Instagram and Pinterest, because in the realm of visuals and images and pictures, Instagram and Pinterest are where you need to be. If you have more of a professional, if you're a career coach or something who works with business executives, you need to be on LinkedIn. You want to be where the professionals are. So it really, and if you have a large millennial population, you definitely need to be on Twitter. So I really advocate that you are where your audience is. And you don't have to be in every place. I'm on multiple platforms, but I perform better on some other ones because that's where my target audience is. And now there's some new social media platforms that have just come out in the last couple of months. Some are just less than 60 days old, where we have Meerkat, Periscope, and Blab, which are live streaming applications. And now it is building people's brands exponentially and just in ways that I have not seen before, where it may have taken you 2 or 3 years to really build a following. People are doing it in 30 days or less with these live streaming apps. So now we're pushing towards live streaming.
Wow. Okay. So I heard you say Periscope, and I know that, I'm recently seeing Periscope around a lot. I've joined it just to see, what was going on with it. What were the other live streaming apps that you were talking about?
There are several, but the top two that I personally use are definitely the Periscope and Blab. Blab is a 4-way live streaming app. You can get it on your desktop. You can go to blab.im. And it's a 4-way live streaming application, whereas Periscope is directly from your mobile phone or from your iPad or a tablet. You can stream Periscope, and it's just a 1-way conversation, one person talking, and then you have a teleprompter of comments from your audience. It's been one of the fastest ways to really grow your brand. I'm seeing a lot of coaches, consultants do extremely well, and business owners do extremely well on the platform, directly selling their products and their services from that platform. So it's really because you're able to connect with people in real time, and you're able to have a connection with them that's really authentic and unique that we haven't had before. You don't get that chance on Instagram with just a picture, with a well-calculated, well-filtered picture, and you don't really get that on Facebook with a well-crafted post or copy. And you don't get that with YouTube because YouTube is edited, chopped, and screwed. But now you get to speak to and connect with people in real time, and people are seeing some amazing results in a short amount of time.
Wow, that's great. I need to look into that. I really need to look into that because I've been seeing, especially Periscope, I've been seeing it around a lot. Just really within the past 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, I don't know how long it's actually been around, but within the last 2 weeks, I've been seeing it everywhere. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I want to ask you, do you think that even though, like you said social media, you don't have to use all of them, but do you think that at the least that businesses should at least claim their name on the on all of the social medias, even social media websites, even if they are not going to use them? So like, for example, Universal Coach Institute, right? Should Universal Coach Institute have a social media Instagram page, even if we don't use it, right? Should we have a Pinterest page, even if we don't use it? Like, should we claim our name on across, especially the, I guess, the most famous social media websites?
Absolutely. If you are a brand or a business, you want to make sure that you own your name on all of the platforms. A lot of people are having a problem when they get on, if they're a later adapter, that their name is already taken. If their name is very common or it's very popular, someone else may already be taking your name. So if you know in advance that you're going to be a business owner or a brand, you definitely should claim the name, even if you don't use the platform. And I didn't discuss Snapchat. You just never know where social media is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely want to own the name of your business on as many platforms as possible. Even if you don't use it, you can just park the name. You want to make sure you have it. And then what some people do, a popular she's an Instagram celebrity, and she does Instagram coaching. She does not like Twitter, and she will put in her Twitter timeline, I'm not on Twitter, just follow me on Instagram. So now she has picked up Periscope, and she sent out an email saying, if you don't buy your name now, you may regret this in 2016. So she sent all of her followers from Instagram and the people who are on her mailing list directly to Periscope, because she's also seeing how quickly it's helping people build their brand.
Interesting.
And currently Periscope has 13 million downloads. When I joined, it was about 4 million downloads. And there's so much room for opportunity. There's only about 2 million people who actually live stream and do talks every day. Out of the 13 million people, only about 2 million people are actively using the platform. Everyone else is listening.
Wow. That is some great stuff. Thank you so much. I hope now, some of our listeners can go ahead and just look more into that, because I definitely am. Thank you. So, what are some common misconceptions that most people have about using social media, and why are they incorrect about it?
The most common misconception is that they have to be on every platform, and that they need to be everywhere, and they need to share everything. You don't need to share everything, and you don't need to be everywhere. It's extremely important, minus the live streaming apps, to orchestrate an experience. You're giving out knowledge. You're establishing your credibility. You're positioning yourself as an expert on these platforms. So you want to be educating people, and you also want to be slightly engaging them and entertaining them. So you want to make sure that you're creating an experience on your social media platforms. If you are a YouTube vlogger, you want to make sure you're creating that experience. If people come to you for tips about hair, natural hair, we expect every time you post a video, it should be about those same things. It should be about natural hair. We don't necessarily want to see your cat. We don't want to see you going to the store. We want to see what we come to you for. So you're building that fan base behind something that you do, that you know how to do, and we're learning about you through that. So when we come to your page, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, we want to see the reason why we're there. We followed you, we liked your page, we subscribed to your channel because of a specific topic or idea, and it's extremely important to stick or be very close as possible to that idea or topic.
All right, so now let's just break this down a little bit. So can you just give us some steps on how someone could begin to use social media to build their brand?
Number one, decide on how you want to show up on social media. Make a decision about what you want to talk about, whether you're going to write it or tweet it. Make a decision. Number two, be consistent. If you're going to become a blogger, you're going to put blog content out there, and you say, I'm going to blog every week about this topic, make sure you're being consistent. And depending on the platform, that will really determine on how consistent you need to be. For example, you may only want to do a YouTube video once a week, whereas Facebook posts, you need to kind of do daily Facebook posts. Maybe you can do 2 to 3 Instagram pictures a day. LinkedIn, you don't necessarily have to be as consistent. Pinterest, it all depends. But Twitter, you need to have maybe 15 to 20 tweets a day, depending on the level of engagement. And with Periscope, the Periscope videos last about 24 hours, so you need to Periscope daily if you want people to connect with you and build your brand that way. So it really depends on the platform, because the lifespan of a tweet is very short. The lifespan of an Instagram photo may be a couple of hours. The lifespan of a Facebook post, and because the organic reach is going down, less people will see your posts anyway. So you want to be consistent. You want to go to social media with a game plan. You want to be consistent, and then this is what you really want to do. You want to automate. You can be in multiple places at once, but you don't have to be constantly and continuously every single day manually doing your social media posts. You got to automate. If you're a brand or a business and you know that there's going to be a sale that's coming up, or you know that there's Labor Day weekend and you want to do a Labor Day weekend coaching sale, you know that in advance. You can schedule that out months ahead, weeks ahead, and just have it be automated. That's the easiest way. It'll unload the burden for you, and you'll be able to have a consistent social media presence without the stress. So the key is to be consistent, make a decision about how you want to go on social media and which platforms you want to be on. Be consistent, make a schedule of how consistent you want to be, how many tweets, how many Facebook posts, how many Instagram posts you're going to do. Recycle content. I didn't say that. Recycle. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Recycle your content. And there are several ways to repurpose your content. And then automate it. Set it and sometimes forget it. But in addition to automating it, I'll add another one. Also go back every once in a while and engage with your audience. So that's one of the kind of the downfalls of automation, that you also, when people start commenting on your posts on various social networks, you do need to engage your audience. If they say, oh, that's a beautiful picture, say thank you. Oh, where do we get this necklace from? Let them know. So start engaging, automate, but also go back every once in a while and engage your audience.
So when they have questions, you answer them. Now, how do we, like, sometimes I think one of my biggest problems, first of all, is consistency. So thank you for that. I do have to remember that consistency is one of the biggest problems. And also not engage. I don't have a problem with interacting with people who come onto my pages. It's getting people to interact with me. So that's, like, I think one of the issues that I've had. Do you have any suggestions for that?
If you want people to interact with you, you have to tell them. So the easiest way to tell them is to include a call to action in your Facebook post or your Instagram. Right. Do you like this? Or what are you doing today? Let me know. Tell us what you think. That's the easiest way. And it's really simple, and people will respond. If you need something, I tell one of my clients, she has a large Instagram following, and she was actually looking for help. And that's another tip. Get help with your social media if you need it. She was looking for some help for her business and social media. And I said, you already have a large following. Ask them to help you. And she did, and she got 3 responses to have social media interns. There are plenty of people out there that are willing to do social media work for free and for a fee. So sometimes if you have a larger following on one platform, you can just send out a message and your followers will respond. I did that with a friend of mine who's an artist, and he wanted to know where to go on tour. And I said, send out a tweet to your followers and ask them, where do they want you to be? And he got a list of places to go.
So Sade, what is, like, the number one reason that people fail to succeed at using social media for their brand?
The number one is they once they don't have success, they stop. They're not willing to do the trial and error. And it's a lot of trial and error, especially, the first live streaming. It was terrible for me, but I realized I deleted it, and it's only 24 hours. There's a lot of trial and error. You have to play around with it. Your Facebook fan pages, your Instagram pages, they're not going to be 1 million subscribers overnight. You have to continuously understand these platforms if you're going to use them, and you have to try again, see what works. Check out the different hashtags. You have to be willing to do a lot of trial and error. And if you're not willing to do the trial and error, then hire someone who's a social media expert or social media manager to help you do it.
Excellent. Thank you. And that's with anything in life. I think a lot of people, when something doesn't work out for them, they quit, right away. They try it, and if it doesn't work out for them immediately, they quit. So thank you for that. I do believe that probably is the number one reason why people fail. So today, what can our listeners do today? What is the very first thing? I know you gave us some steps, and they were some wonderful steps for us to take. What is one step that our listeners can get off of this call today and go do to begin using social media to build their brand?
The one step that I would say, I have 2, but I'll do one. Automate.
Okay. Automate. Okay.
And automate with a Hootsuite or a Buffer app. You can use these for free. Automate. Think of a whole bunch of posts, if you're an author, if you already have a lot of content, just copy and paste a couple of things that you've already said and schedule them out for the week. You can spend this weekend or a day, maybe a couple of hours, no more than about 2 hours, automating all your social media for the next 2 weeks. So you already have content that's going out there. You're already building a following behind the information that you're giving out. So you can automate, set, and almost forget.
Excellent. And how do you feel about sharing other people's content? You might have spoken about that earlier, but I'm not sure.
Sharing other people's content on other websites, it depends on the platform. For example, if you share someone's image on Instagram, you need to give attribution. So I usually just make my own images when it comes to Instagram, but you need to make sure you're giving attribution because there's been some murky issues with photos. And when you're creating graphics, you really want to make sure that you're just not taking graphics off of Google. Someone created those are someone's intellectual property. So you want to make sure that you use your own graphics, so you have to pay for graphics if it is a graphic. Now, sharing other people's content when it comes to Twitter, it's absolutely great. If there is an article that someone else wrote that is in your particular niche, share it out. That person may notice you. That could be a potential collaboration. And it's also content that you are sharing out to your followers and fans. So it's definitely encouraged on Twitter. It may be frowned upon on Instagram depending on what it is. It's definitely encouraged on Facebook with the share button. It's encouraged on other platforms. So you can get other content from other people, but just make sure you're attributing it to the original source.
Okay. All right. So speaking about that, I would like to ask you, because you seem to be an expert on this topic, how do you help people with building their brand on social media? When I say how do you help, when I say how do you help, I mean what services do you offer? That's what I mean.
So before we get to the social media is a tool. So it's a part of the packaging and a part of the visibility aspect of putting your brand out there. Because I believe that in order for you to really have a successful brand, people have to know that you exist. So a part of me helping women entrepreneurs build their brands is helping them become consistent on social media and be visible. So it all depends on, I develop a strategy based on your business and your brand, and it's really contingent upon what you do. So currently, I'm doing a social media class for Periscope to teach women and men how to leverage their brand on Periscope because it's extremely new and people want to know how to monetize the platform and how to build their brand using it. And for me personally, within less than 30 days, with zero following on this platform, I was able to sell a masterclass and make $1,100 just selling it on Periscope with no following and just literally learning the platform really quickly, pretty much mastering it and being able to sell from the platform. And I've been able to do that since. So I call it the fastest way to build your brand, the fastest I've seen on social media to monetize, especially if you are a newer brand and you don't have a huge following on other social media platforms. So that's what I'm doing specifically right now. And in a couple of months, next month, as a matter of fact, I'll be doing a 3-month brand empowerment coaching program where we're going to talk about your brand clarity. We're going to talk about that message and marketing mastery. The marketing aspect will include social media strategy. And then we're going to talk about the infrastructure and how to implement these things, that income infrastructure. Because it's extremely important to be clear. When you go on social media, the biggest faux pas is not being clear about why you're there and what you're doing on there. If you're saying, I'm doing this, I do hair, I sell makeup, I do this, I do that, people will be confused. So the most important thing is to be clear in your brand messaging. Let people know exactly what you do and allow them to participate in your services and your offerings. Then it's about putting that together. How do we market that out? Once you're clear, once you've developed that clear brand messaging, how can we market this? And then we look at all the social media platforms and what's the avenue that's best for you. And that is really based on your business and your brand, because every platform does not work well for everyone. Then we talk about those systems that need to be in place and the infrastructure so you can start generating income and also creating a product, service, or package. So those are the 3 main things that I do in each month, brand mastery, brand clarity, then the marketing mastery, and then we talk about the infrastructure and income. That'll be the 3rd month of the program. So it really takes my clients through a process of what they need to do before they can even implement the social media aspect.
Wonderful. Well, Sade, let me tell you, you've given us an earful and an action steps full of information on using social media to build our brand. Is there anything else you want to tell us about this that you might have forgotten or I didn't ask you about?
The only thing I will say is definitely get on Periscope. It is a game changer. It came out in March, and it's huge. There's already Periscope conferences. They're already planning. There's one in New York. There's going to be San Francisco and Australia. It's becoming huge. The amount of growth that they're having in a short amount of time is really insane. And it's really going to be important for more people to build their brands and really utilize their voice in this marketplace because people want to connect with you in real time. So get on Periscope. That would be my last comment.
To get on Periscope. Okay, and you actually have a 4-day Periscope challenge.
Yes.
Build your brand with Periscope. Okay, so well, listeners can actually go to coachtalkshow.com website to um, get to opt in to that 4-day challenge.
But because I'm really encouraging people, a lot of, especially I work with women entrepreneurs, and they're really nervous about being live because
Mm.
because women believe we have to have makeup on, we have to look nice, we have to have our hair done. And what live streaming is really showing me and showing so many other people is that we don't care what you really look like. We care about what you have to say and the value that you provide. So it's becoming extremely important. And some people are going on with scarves and, they're sleeping in a bed. They're doing all kinds of things with live streaming now. And people don't care. We're not concerned about how you look. We can't smell you. We're just about what you have to say. And people will continue to come back as long as you provide value. And that's what's really important. So I know a lot of people are scared. So that's why I created this 4-day brand building Periscope challenge. And it's an email that comes to you every single day. It gives you some tips on how to prepare for your first Periscope. And it also gives you some topics. That's a huge question that I get all the time. What should I scope about?
Okay, that's funny that you said that because I can see that that being one of my issues of not going on live with Periscope because I think it's a good idea, but that definitely the way that I look at the time would probably be one of my biggest setbacks for getting on. So,
And the men, they just get on. They don't care. They just get on. They have no qualms about how they look. They just get on. And they're doing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So the women, we've been encouraging a lot more women to start live streaming because right now it's heavily male dominated. But there are definitely more women coming on.
Okay, and how long usually, like, what do you think is the average amount of time someone should live stream? So, like, what do you think, like 30 minutes? Do you think an hour is too long? I guess it depends on the topic, right?
It depends on the topic. I've seen long scopes. A lot of the popular people will go on maybe for an hour. 30 minutes to an hour. I've seen 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It really depends on the topic. I like to tell my clients, have an agenda. Have your 5 points or your 4 points and do what you have to do and get off. Especially if you're new to it, just stay on for maybe 5 and increase it each time. You don't have to do that in the first Periscope, but increase it each time. Have your agenda and go from there.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, I'm going to ask you again, do you have anything else? Because you just gave us another earful, some more great information. This is great. I'm really enjoying this, and I hope that we can have you back on the show to give us more insightful tips and information on other things that we can use to help us build our brand. I do thank you for coming. You have anything else to say?
I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you so much. I'm excited. I would love to come back.
Download Sade's 4-day Periscope challenge to help you build your brand with Periscope. Please go to bit.ly/brandonscope. That's bit.ly/brandonscope And you can also find that link in our show notes at CoachTalkShow.com. Also visit her website at SadeYedu.com.
Thanks for listening to Coach Talk. Be sure to check out our website at www.coachtalkshow.com for previous podcasts, show notes, links, and more. This has been a Universal Coach Center production. Join us next time for another edition of Coach Talk.